Here's another idiotic comment. This time we have Planet is in, it's basically a urban development planning website that's posting news articles on Yahoo. This time we have, well, let me get rid of this pop-up thing. This is an annoying thing here too. These little pop-ups, they all want you to sign up to their newsletters. Give us your email and sign up for this. Listen, I'm just trying to read the article here, and if I have to give you my email so you can sell it to spammers and fill my email inbox up with junk mail, then I'm going to back away from it. Look at this. Here's another ad. I can't even read it. I think because I hit the X button, they won't let me read it now. Look at this. Okay, okay, moving on. we're exploring several different things today. We have an annoying website search thing. You're going to say, you're using ad blocker. Well, I don't have ad blocker on this laptop. I'm trying to keep it as clean as I can. Okay, so this article here says Florida considers legalizing ADUs. Now, if you don't know what an ADU is, and it's accessory dwelling unit. So it's basically like a shed, a portable man cave, or small, what do they call them? Tiny homes. Well, basically it's a shed that you can make into a tiny home, or any kind of small building that you can put onto your property. Now remember, I say your property, because if you live in the United States, you never actually own your own home. You may sort of own the wood and the metal, but you don't own the ground that it's sitting on, meaning you still have to pay property taxes. No matter what, for the rest of your life and the life of your family and the life of that home, as long as it stays in your family is going to have to pay property taxes on a home that's already been paid for. And in some cases, it can go on for over 100 years. You're still paying property taxes on a home. So it's one of the biggest scams in the United States is property taxes, along with federal income taxes. This whole, the American dream is owning your own home, having safety, security, living in your own home, right? You can actually own your own home to where you will not be kicked out on the street. If you work hard and dedicate yourself to paying this monthly mortgage until it's all paid off and you don't own any more debt, this home is now yours. But if you happen to fail on the property tax, they can actually take your home from you. So what does that tell you? You never own the home, because you will never own the land that it's on. That's almost in any state. I mean, even if you own the land that you're on, you're probably paying some sort of property tax, even if it's $50 a year. They're still trying to get something from you. Okay, so moving on here. Keep that in mind, that you don't actually own the land. And if you did, you should be able to do just about whatever you want to on it, right? Okay, Florida state legislators. Oh, wait a minute. Let's start at the top here. It says Florida considers legalizing ADUs, again, accessory dwelling units. Current state laws. Okay, I'm going to start at the top now. Current state law allows, but doesn't require, cities to permit accessory dwelling units in single-family residential neighborhoods. Reading that again. Current state law allows, but doesn't require, cities to permit. Now, reading that again, it says current state law allows cities to permit, but doesn't require. What is this telling you? It probably tells me that we're all just blindly following the person in front of us when we don't have to. Because it says right here, almost in bold print, current state law allows, but doesn't require, cities to permit accessory. So that means that I'm not required to have a permit, because my current state law does not require the city to permit. Okay, so is it the city? Is it the state? Is it the town? The municipality? Is it the village that you live in? All these things have these terms and what you're allowed to do and who actually oversees who. Okay, so we're going to move down here. I'm going to quit my yammering, have a little coffee here. Further on in the article states, Florida state legislators are considering a proposal to legalize accessory dwelling units across the state. Florida state legislators are considering a proposal to legalize accessory dwelling units. Legalize. Okay, but at the top it says, remember, current state law allows but doesn't require. Okay. It sounds like it's confusing a little bit. What am I saying? Okay, so as Gilia, I don't know how to say her first name, or that's a guy's name. As so-and-so Carbonaro explains in Newsweek, on top of climbing home prices, homeowners in the state are struggling with rising homeowners association fees, high property insurance premiums, and other growing housing costs, which are increasingly outpricing Floridians and forcing them to sell their homes and move. Reading that again, Carbonaro explains in Newsweek, on top of climbing home prices, homeowners in the state are struggling with rising homeowners association fees. So if you don't live in an HOA or you don't live in an area that has one of these, this is an association. This is basically a neighborhood that you move into with the understanding that there is a police presence of neighbors. So the neighbors police each other, and you in fact actually have a plastic sheriff. I don't know if they call him that. That's what I call him. The plastic sheriff drives around on a golf cart most of the time, writing up citations like your driveway's dirty, or you have your grass is too high on the one side of your home. We see your front door still has the Christmas ornaments on it, and Christmas was 4 months ago, so we're writing you up because you can't have decorations on the front of your home. Stuff like that. Really, really, really some of the pettiest stuff, but people move into these neighborhoods because they feel that they are going to keep them clean, upkept, no unsightly riffraff going on. People aren't going to have their cars on top of cinder blocks in their driveways for months. You're not going to see pig roast, spit roast in the front yard, somebody's neighborhood. You're never going to see that giant bonfire and a pig being turned on a spit. You'll never see stuff like that in somebody's front yard in an HOA. I'm surprised that they even allow Christmas lights or Halloween decorations in some of these neighborhoods. In some of them they don't. But anyway. Okay, so moving on. Or I want to stay with that, because the HOA fees, if you're complaining about homeowners association fees, well, that's something you agreed to in the first place. So that's on you, pal. Sorry, you're not getting any sympathy from me. But you agreed to live in these neighborhoods, so this is a part of it. You're going to pay these fees so other people can drive around and tell you what to do. Okay. On top of high property insurance premiums, people in Florida can pretty much not afford insurance. All right, if you're like 20 miles from the coastline, within 20 miles from the coastline around the edge of Florida, you can't afford insurance. If you're middle class, it's almost impossible to afford it. It's gone up like six times what it used to be in the 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s. It's an incredible amount. Okay, keeping with the subject here. Other growing housing costs, which are increasing outpricing Floridians and forcing them to sell their homes. Now, 2 proposed bills would require municipalities to allow ADUs in single-family neighborhoods, with exceptions for planned developments. Lawmakers hope ADUs could offer an affordable housing option for the state's lower-income workers. Now, we're relying on our local legislators in order to allow us to live on our own property that we pay for. Again, why is this? Why are we having to go this route? I pay the property hell, even the property taxes still. If I paid for my home and now I have to pay for this is my home. You don't get to make a decision what I do in my own home or on my own property. And you're going to say, Because I can hear people screaming, "Oh, what if they're releasing hazardous chemicals on their property? They're burning stuff and it's releasing chemicals into the air. That's terrible for the look." I'm not saying stuff like that. I'm not saying anything like let's go ahead and cause environmental problems. What I'm saying is that if I want to have a travel trailer on my property and live in it, or have a family member live in it, that shouldn't be up to you, the neighbor. That shouldn't be up to anybody else because I own my own home. What's happening on my property doesn't affect you in any way, shape, or form. Oh, well, I got to see it. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. So you mean you can't even see with your own eyeballs anything that offends you or puts you off kilter? That's a problem. You might want to reevaluate your entire stance in life. You can't even see something without it throwing you into a stirring rage. That's an issue on your own self. Okay, so those two bills would require municipalities to allow ADUs. Municipalities, remember, it's not up to the state. It's up to the municipalities. The ones that want your tax money. That want to tell you what to do. Your local municipalities allow ADUs in single-family neighborhoods with exceptions for planned developments. With exceptions for planned developments. Now, I don't know. That could span all kinds of stipulations. I don't know what the hell that really means. So many feet from your back property line, side property line. I have no idea what that means. No idea. Maybe you're not allowed to dig trenches and put in septic tanks. You're not allowed to do certain things. I don't know. Or exceptions for planned developments, like if your property line is your property is too low below sea level, then the septic tank has to be above ground so many feet or whatever it is. These are regulations. Okay, lawmakers hope ADUs could offer an affordable housing option for the state's lower income lows. Lawmakers hope, when you know without a doubt it does, in fact, offer an affordable housing option. It without a doubt, lawmakers hope ADUs could offer. No, they definitely offer affordable housing options. And this is the problem, is that property owners are saying, this is my land. My child can't afford to live in the world today, so I'm putting a shack in the backyard for my kid to live on. And the state, the municipality that they live in doesn't like that. They want taxes. They want code enforcement. They want permits. They want you to pay. And then, reading on further, let's listen to this. You're going to like this one with the property tax. You'll love this. Okay. Cabanero adds, while the granny flats, because that's what they call them, granny flats, the mother-in-law suite in the backyard, which in movies you would see is like between the main house and the swimming pool. Is the granny flat is on the other side. The swimming pool's between the mother-in-law suite and the main house. Okay, so they call them granny flats. This sounds like it's an English writer. This doesn't sound like it's from an American news organization. While granny flats, we would call them mother-in-law suites. While the granny flats would also face property taxes. Wait a minute, I thought we were looking at an affordable housing option. You're still going to be raising property taxes, which, as we all know, continue on for the life of the property unless the dwelling is removed. Okay. That's not in the article. I added that, but that's factual. Okay, so while the granny flats would also face property taxes, homeowners would not lose their homestead property exemptions if they add such extensions. We don't know what the cost difference is going to be in this, ladies and gentlemen. We have no idea. Okay, but it's supposed to offer a affordable housing option. Well, wouldn't it make it affordable not raise your property tax? Yeah, it would. Because, you're raising the cost of living on your property, which you're trying to reduce. Okay. Homeowners would not lose their homestead property exemption if they had such an extension. A change made to SB 184, which is like, I think, I forgot what SB means. It's something like the development things by Getz earlier this month, would also prevent granny flats from being used as short-term rentals. an issue that was raised during discussion of the bill. Let's read that again. Gates, whatever, he's made a change to SB 184 by Gates earlier this month, would also prevent granny flats from being used as short-term rentals. So they want to keep you from making, a second income or another stream of revenue. And they're going to tell you, no, this has to be for a full-time living. You can't collect rent from them. This also prevents granny flats from being used as short-term rentals. Also prevent granny. Okay, so are they trying to help the American citizen? Ask yourself that. No, they are not. They still try to bleed you at every turn they can. Every chance that they can, they're trying to take what they can from you. Your sweat, your hard work, your dedication. They want to take from not only from you, but your family. Because when you die and the family lives in the house, they're going to continue to tax the family for the home that you paid for, that you worked your entire life for to pay off. And it's this property tag. And then you put a shack on it for your kids to live in, or the granny. And now there's more stipulations. You're going to have to show the county or the municipality that you're not renting it on short terms. Who lives here? Can I ask that question? Who lives in my house? I do. Who pays the electric bill in my house? I do. Who has to pay the damn mortgage? I do. Who has to pay the taxes? I do. Who has to clean the home and pay for the repairs of the home? I do. So tell me, people, why are we allowing these bureaucrats to dictate our lives for us? Why are we still allowing that? When in bold print, they have to tell you at the very beginning of this thing, you don't have to follow these laws. You're an American citizen, you don't have to follow these. These are basically put in place by other human beings that are trying to take you're trying to take your resources from you. They're trying to dwindle you down and make sure your family doesn't succeed. I'm just saying the obvious. Cities, listen, current state law allows, but doesn't require. So where do I take that to? I know I sound like a complete asshole right now, but where do I take this to? Do I take this to the judge and say, okay, judge, well, what does this mean? Am I following a news article I'm reading here? Because, I mean, like, again, am I an idiot for reading news articles and believing them? Should this fall on Planetizen 25 Years of Planning's website for putting out articles like this? Is this crap? Is this salacious? Is this just a clickbaity thing? Because this is a major issue in Florida. Not even just in Florida. In the United States as a whole. Did you know that you cannot live on your own property in an RV or travel trailer? Or a horse trailer, motorhome, a coach, whatever you want to call it. You can't live in those. Did you know that? You can't live in them full time. You can't buy property and put an RV on it, a septic system, an electric system, and put an RV on. You can't do it. You have to have a main house on the property. One of these, you have to have an actual main house that they can tax to the end of time and regulate to the end of time. You have to have a main house before you can put your RV on that property. Did you know that? That's anywhere in the United States. Anywhere in the United States, but I'm starting to believe that it really is not required. So what are they saying here? Okay. With that in mind, I bought property and I put an RV on it, and then I started getting problems from my city. And it's the city that will squeeze you out. And then you have to get an attorney to fight for laws, which, according to this article, may not really exist. I mean, you may have to pay for an attorney to fight for you to prevent laws from being applied to you, which don't even exist. These laws may not even exist on paper. And if they do, it's some guy writing it down, in which millions of Americans have to follow in line with these words. I mean, this is just crazy, people. And you can say, I live in an HOA and I love an HOA. That's good for you. Then don't complain. One bit. I don't want to hear a single complaint about they gave me a letter. They keep giving me letters on my stupid driveway being dirty. It's a driveway. You drive on it. Well, you live in an HOA. You chose to live there. You get no sympathy from me. But you get the rest of the world, as it is in the United States, the rest of us that don't live in an HOA, that just live in maybe non-incorporated or rural areas, which you don't have HOAs. You should not be required to have a permit. Look, a mobile home or an RV is a self-contained living unit. End of story. A travel trailer, a motorhome, anything that has black and gray tanks, white, a water tank, black tank, and a gray tank. One's for waste, one's for shower and sink water, and one's for your clean drinking water. So you got 3 tanks. You got that, and you have a door and a roof. That's a home. I don't care how big it is. I don't care if it's mobile. It's a mobile home. So, if anything, travel trailers should be considered over top of one of these. Buy a shed at your local box store for thousands and thousands of dollars with nothing on the inside of it. It's a complete shell. It's a skeleton on the inside of them. Okay? And they keep touting these things, too, as tiny homes, even though tiny homes out of a shed is illegal. But maybe it's not illegal. Maybe the illegality is ghost. It's paper thin. It's like ghostly. It's ethereal. It doesn't really exist. It's only there if somebody tries to apply it to you. Like through force. Like arresting you or trying to fine you or kick you off your property with the help of a police agency. Off the property in which you paid your entire life for this house. And the house is paid off, but the taxes aren't paid off. And so you're going to kick me off of the property, but not the home, right? So there's all kinds of issues that I have. And homeowners have, tax-paying citizens in the United States have. We have a lot of problems going on here. When you don't even have your own sanctum, which is your own home, the place that you come home to every single day, and you hang your hat, and this is your solace, your solitude. This is the place that you find peace and relaxation from the world of craziness. Right? You work hard. This is what you want. You pay it off. You decorate it. Nice little fence in your garden and everything. Oh, God, don't get me started on the garden. Some cities don't allow you to have a garden in your own backyard, front yard, side yard, on your property at all. You are not allowed to feed yourself. Okay, there's a problem here. You're not allowed to feed yourself. You're not allowed to let your family live on your property with you. You're not allowed to put a shack. Oh, you got to be kidding me. You know how many countries do this where they keep families together on the same property? They'll just maybe extend the home a little bit because, the family got big. Or they'll put another little home on the property. Italy, well, I keep saying Italy, but they're really known for the Asians. They just live stacked on top of each other. That's all they want. Stack each other on top of each other. Live like sardines with no room. Eat really bad food that's grown in a lab somewhere. Pay for property in which you're never going to own. Listen to people make laws on your lifestyle while you pay those people to make the laws on your lifestyle. I mean, we're paying these people to do this to us. Do you understand that? We pay for these people to run our lives and to make our lives difficult. You can't put an accessory dwelling unit on the... That shouldn't be any of your concern. It's easy to dig a septic tank. It's easy to rig up plumbing. Did you know that? It's not hard. Look it up. It's really not hard. There are probably more than half of the homes in the United States that are run into septic systems on their own property. A septic tank with a little leach line, like a leach field. Did you know that? So what about all those homes? You talk about tons and tons of mobile home parks. Tons and tons of septic systems. I mean, it's no different. So don't give me that, oh, it's an environmental hazard. No. What's environmental hazard is working for Pepsi Cola or Shell Oil Company or Tesla Those are environmental hazards. Go work for Apple Computer Corporation or whatever, making cell phones, destroying the earth for rare minerals and stuff, and exploiting people. I mean, that destroys the planet. Me living and letting my family live for a little cheaper in the backyard doesn't hurt the planet. What it hurts is the income tax, the property tax. They want to tax you. That's what they're trying to get. So first it was, we're going to make it like difficult for you to live and work at a comfortable level in the United States. We're going to make it difficult for you. And now, okay, we're going to allow you to but we're going to tax you. So you're going to pay either way. They're going to get it from you either way. They must know people are doing this shit regardless. They're just putting a home on their property. They're like, fuck it. What are you going to do? Put it in the backyard. Do it over the weekend. And don't tell anybody about it. And when you get a code guy coming to your door, walking up the driveway here, he can stop right there because now you're on private property. You put a fence up and you don't let anybody pass the fence. There's ways that you can get around. Well, we can see it. That's fine. You can't see inside of it. I don't know of any law that a judge will sign allowing a state inspector or a police unit to come in and inspect one of these things. Simply based off, actually, you know what? I'm talking out of my asshole now. Because your neighbor can call and say, oh, I don't like what's going on, or I'll make up a story about my neighbors, and then they'll send somebody over. So you know what? I'm talking out of my asshole. Your neighbor, your blind-ass neighbor with nothing else to do, has more control over what you do on your property. Everybody else has more control over what you do on your property than you do. Why is that? Why is that? And I've seen it before. I've seen cops getting called on people's neighbors. We got a call for a wellness check. It's like, how do you just do that? You come up beating on my door and assuming that things are wrong here simply because my neighbor doesn't like the dwelling in my backyard now. Now they're going to call all the time in an anonymous format. Anonymous. We have no idea who keeps calling us. Well, maybe you should ask. Maybe that should be against the law. Okay, we're going off into some different things here now. I got to have my coffee and move on with my day. Granny flats. I don't think that this article was written in the United States. Or at least by an American citizen, like a national or a homegrown American. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but if you're using terminology like granny flats, I'm gonna assume that you're not an American citizen, or you've only just gotten here, or maybe you just work on the computer. You live in England somewhere, but you're writing articles for other news, other websites around the world, probably. Okay, that's it. So Planet is in. If this is a fake article, you should let somebody know. Or not, because this is the deal. This is what we live for nowadays, is just get clicks. Like, don't have any resolve. Just get clicks. Full story. Florida could be about to get a lot more housing. Oh, we got a full story here? Who's this by? Newsweek. So it's not Planetizen. Planetizen is just, what? Clips? Newsweek has the full article? Wait a minute. Is Newsweek the real one? And Planetizen clipped that article and tried to use it as its own. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're figuring it out as we go along. Everybody is just thieving little bastards, aren't they? Let's just take the half the news article. Come on, ongoing shortage of... Okay, so they reworded it. We'll have to read this whole thing. There will be exceptions for planned unit development or master plan communities. Granny flats, which are essential add-ons to existing properties with their independent living spaces, normally have their own kitchen, bathroom, and sleeping area. They could be made of converted portions of existing homes. They could be additional attached property. They could be completely detached. These homes, according to... I know I'm rambling on now, but I should have read this article. Okay, so this may actually illustrate a point here, another point inadvertently, which is what I said right towards the end of this video was, should I stop reading these articles? Because this is not the main article. These aren't the Planet is in. Okay, that's it. Do some more due diligence before I go. So full story is actually from Newsweek, ladies and gentlemen. This seems to be from Newsweek now, and not Planet is in. So I would have signed up to Planetizen's. Look, come on now. I would have just signed up to Planetizen's news article when they're not even the ones writing the articles. What kind of shady shit is that? Planetizen, I will never come back and read any more of your articles. Just letting you know, there's a few of them that I won't come back and read because they do stuff like this. They'll leave you hanging. They actually use clips from other stuff. They want you to sign up to their newsletter, email list, and then they won't let you read the article if you don't sign up. It's like, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm Xing. Look, there's an X button. Boop, gone. Newsweek, maybe I'll read this later. Boop, gone. And there I am. Everybody, thank you. Have a great, perfect day. Wonderful, stress-free day. Watch what you read, because we might be all reading the wrong shit. Just manipulate it by some other clip joint. I call them the clip joint because they're clipping articles from other agencies and then using them as their own. Here, read the full article below. Why? Okay. All right, everybody. Till next time. This has been your ignorant comment of the day.